Hi guys, it's Lulu from Boho Locs here, and if you want to learn how to cornrow to go from this to this, then stay tuned to this video where I'm going to walk you step by step through how to cornrow for your protective style base. So when you're cornrowing, I recommend that you have on hand a rat tail comb, because this is great for making your partings, some butterfly clips, because this is great for clipping the hair out and keeping your rows nice and neat, and also you can have some duckbill clips as well to keep the shorter bits of hair out of the row that you're working on. So with these cornrows that I'm doing today, they're going to form the base of a protective style using our Boho Goddess extra long choc blonde locks. And to do that, I'm going to do a really simple 8 cornrow base. So we're going to be working with rows that are about 1 inch thick. What I typically tend to do is work off the middle parting and then split that into 4, just so we know we're going to have even distribution on each side when we come to install the locks. What we don't want is I don't want 3 on one side and then the other side's got 5, because what will happen is you'll just get really unbalanced style. So we're just trying to create balance. 4 on each side is a really great place to start. So we're looking for even-ish thickness between the beginning of the cornrow and the end of the cornrow. When we're splitting it up, we need to bear in mind that at the nape, we want that equally divided into 8, and we also want the front equally divided into 8. So we just need to bear that in mind and try and keep it even as we go. For the first cane row that we're going to do on the base for the protective style, we're going to take it around the whole perimeter at the back. So it's going to go from the side down to the nape and then across, because what that's going to form is one straight cane row going back, and we can loop the locks into there. So when she wears up styles, it just looks a lot better. So here we have the first cane row parted out, and it's going to follow this line along the nape so the hair can be worn up. And now I'm going to teach you how to cornrow. So this is the first one that we're going to do because it's the most important, because the other ones obviously aren't going to go all the way back down to the nape. So cane rowing is all about working with 3 strands of hair. At any one time, one hand will always have 2 strands and the other will always have 1. First thing we're going to do is separate where we're going to start our cornrow. And this first section of hair, we're going to split into 3 equal parts. 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do, we will always have 2 strands of hair in one hand and 1 in the other. The strand on the end is going to be fed into the middle strand each rotation as we go back. It's the basic act of plaiting. So we're feeding in the outside strand back into the middle every time, back into the middle every time, like that. But the difference with cornrows is that we're going to pick up hair as we travel backwards to secure it to the scalp. Okay, so we've got our 3 strands. This time, when I go back, I'm going to pick up some hair here. If you're working with long hair, you want to make sure that you're pulling the cornrow through every time, because otherwise, as you progress down, it's just going to turn into a big tangled knot at the end, which we don't want. We just want to make sure that it's clear every time. I'm going to take this all the way around. And this one, we're going to plait all the way down to the ends. So there we have our first cornrow done. Cornrow number 2. Okay, so I'm going to now part out the second one, very similar, except this one is just going to go straight down, and we're not going to worry about trying to bend it around the nape. This one's literally just going to go from the front to the back of the hair. So again, we're going to start with the front section, and we're going to break this into 3. 1, 2, and 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hold one of the sections between our 3rd and 4th fingers, one of the sections between our forefinger and thumb, and in the other hand we're going to hold this section between our thumb and third finger, because we're going to use our thumb and third finger, because we're going to use our forefinger to part through, and that's how we're going to grab on and form our cornrows. So we're going to go through with the index finger, and we're going to grab onto the outside strand of hair, and we're going to do an exchange. This now is going to sit here, and this is sitting between the third and fourth and the thumb and the second. So you're always just, it's always the same fingers that are holding the hair, we're just alternating the hands. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go again through, but what we will do, because we're doing a cornrow, we're going to pick up a little bit of the hair that's behind, and that's it. So now we're going to use our index finger again to go through, and we're going to pick up a little bit of hair to add it to that middle section. And that's it. Every time we're picking up little bits of hair. Just a little bit every time. Always making sure we pull any tangles through. Don't want to keep braiding if there's a tangle. It'll be a nightmare to take out. So here we are at the end of the braid. And what we're going to do is we're just going to plait off the ends all the way down. When it comes to the next braid that we're going to do next to it, when we get just past the center of the head, what we're going to do is we're going to lift this braid up and we're going to join it into the cornrow. So we're going to form a zigzag pattern at the end, just so not all the hair's left out and it becomes bulky. If we braid them into each other, it stays nice and flat, which is what you want for your install. Something else important to consider is when you're combing the hair out on your rows, always start combing it from the ends, obviously, because if it's tangled, we don't want to go in from the root and cause breakage. We're here to protect the hair. Okay, so now I'm just going to crochet this into the middle somewhere so we don't see it. So so we go through the plait, put the braid to this,